Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the MJD Newsletter Podcast. I'm Manoj Day and it is so good to be back here. Today I am going to talk about something very interesting, something that is so obvious yet so fundamental in design. Icons. There they are. Icons are probably the most essential element that you are going to discover while designing. It is almost everywhere. And what I think about icons is that they bring your design to life. And it is so exciting because there is an icon for almost everything these days. And if you just go on to resources and if you just try to find some, you will find endless icons. One more interesting thing that I've noticed about icons is that a lot of apps kind of use their own icons. They modify their own icons and they use it their way. For example, the like button on YouTube is different than the like button on Amazon Music, and it's different from the like button on Spotify. And this is something that excites me because this is so fundamental and it can be used in so many different ways, and still it is almost everywhere. Icons bring your design to life. Icons make your design scannable. One thing that icons really are going to help you is bringing your design to life actually. Whenever you find icons in your surroundings, you would be able to make sense of it. And icons basically make it easier for you to understand the point of the design because you don't need to read the subtext that comes with the icon. You can just take a look at the icon and boom, there you go. You know that it's telling you to stop, or it's telling you that there's a signal ahead, or there's a danger, maybe snakes are coming in, whatever. There is an icon for almost everything. There is an icon for no horn. There is an icon for stopping. There is an icon for emergency exit. There is an icon for the fire alarm, everything. Another really interesting thing about icon is that they help you understand the nature of the design. They help you get the message that you want to convey to the people. Now, it can be anything. It can be traffic signals, it can be the stop sign, it can be the speed breaker ahead sign, the speed limit sign, the parking sign. It helps you understand the nature and message. It helps you understand it faster, and it helps you make sense of almost everything even better, in a better way. You must see a lot of signs at airports, and one thing I talked about this in my last episode, that I'm really into aviation, and whenever I go to airport or I'm having a flight, I really observe very carefully. I even observe the minute details. And I can really differentiate, okay, this airport had this sign in this place, but this airport does not have that. The airport I'm in right now, it's not having this sign. I don't know why. And I can go on and on but that is something that is really interesting to observe. Icons are really interesting to observe, and when you see an icon and you can't understand what the icon means, it is obviously so interesting. The time you spend trying to understand it, and then you try to kind of come up with some kind of postulation, some theory, maybe. Okay, I think this icon means this icon means, okay, don't go too fast, or something like that. I remember once I was like in an event, or I actually don't remember. I was quite young, and I don't remember which place was it, but it was somewhere, and there was this icon. Yeah, it was in a road. Sorry. Yeah, it was in a road, and I actually saw an icon which was like a line straight, and then a curved line that would go far from the straight line. And I was like, what would this mean? And all of this thing, and on ahead of that, on top of that, was a big cross sign. And I was like, all right, I need to know what this thing is. I came up with weird assumptions, and my parents would laugh at me for that because they were so funny. And then I came to realize that, okay, it's called the no overtaking sign. All right. So that sign was supposed to tell you that you cannot overtake a vehicle right now because this is like a one-way route. Anyway, back to airports. So in airports, there are very interesting signs. And one more interesting thing that I find, that if you want to look at icons or signs in general, then going out of your house is a really wonderful thing, because once you're out, you can see icons, logos, designs, and signs almost everywhere. In an airport, you would see signs for security, you would see signs for gates, you would see signs for check-in, you would see signs for that would tell you the way to boarding gates. You will see arrows, a lot of arrows actually, and those arrows are going to guide you to your nearest airport, to the washrooms, to, almost everywhere. And you might see all of them, and whenever you see icons, you would never get overwhelmed. Like, I have observed that if there is a lot of text, for example, you are inside an airport, which is a very busy airport, it does not have any icon, you only have text, text, text. So if you want to go to gate number 5, and say if gate number 5 is on to your left, it does not have a left arrow, it just says turn left to go to gate number 5. And to read that or even scan that, it would be really frustrating. And imagine if there are only words in airport panels and airport banners. It would be so frustrating, right? Like, every time you need to go, I want to go to the washroom, it's a real emergency, and I have to read, okay, the washroom is downstairs, way to go to the washroom, go 2 steps down, turn right, take the lift, move up, go to the stairs, go near the washroom, turn left, and there is. That would be very funny. All right, that was a little bit too long, but yeah, icons definitely help. It would be overwhelming to read text all the time. Icons make design easier for you. One really good example of icons in our everyday life is our phones. Whenever you open a phone, you have icons everywhere. Just open the lock screen. Just turn your phone right now and open the lock screen. You can probably see the face recognition thing that, trying to recognize your face. You could probably see on the top, you might see the Wi-Fi icon, the battery icon, the Bluetooth. At bottom, you might see the cameras and unlock and swipe to unlock and all those things. And then you might see enter password, enter pattern. All of these things are really in your device. And believe me or not, icons like this you would find almost everywhere. Now, these icons have really went deep into our surroundings. And now, personally, I think living a life without these would be very difficult. Like, personally, it would be very difficult and hard to make sense of the world if there were no icons. Because believe me or not, they really help. They help us understand the ideas, the actions, and almost everything that icons can. And this is truly fundamental and truly important. Now, in my previous episodes, I talked about user interface design, the UX and UI part of design. And then when you talk about UX and or UI, icons are even more fundamental. Icons are even more fundamental if you are into user interface design, because icons would mean everything in your UI. It would mean the aesthetics, the visual hierarchy, the way you want your design to convey the messages to the user, the way you would want the design, the way you would want the user to understand what the design wants to say, and almost everything in between. This is so important, and it is absolutely very necessary. Imagine if there are no icons, Just like an airport, imagine if there are no icons on your user interface, or if there are no icons in your phone or tablet. You have to read everything. Now, people don't want that, right? We want to make people's life easier. That's what technology is all about. It's supposed to make people's life easier. But imagine if there were no icons, life would definitely be all right. Now, here are some now I've been always now you might observe that I am all pro towards icons. Use icon. Yeah, absolutely use icons. In user interface, definitely use them more because they would help you remove unnecessary extras use of space. If you were to use text instead of icons, it would need a lot of space. Then it would simplify your design. You don't need to write a text for everything. You can just put a back icon, for example, on your phone, and you don't need to write BACK. Just the back icon, the back arrow would do the thing, right? If you want a person to go to the home button, if you're into like us, like an operating system design or something, you want people to go back to home, they can just tap on the home icon. Even in your app, if you want people to go to home, you don't need to necessarily write HOME, right? You can just tap home, and there the design would do its thing, right? It would simplify it significantly. And next is accessibility. Okay, so this happened to me once I was kind of setting it once I was setting up my TV, and I was really excited that we got a new TV. So I was just trying to set it up, and by mistake I chose the language Japanese instead of English. And yeah, I wasn't able to understand a thing. And then I really got terrified. I was like, how on earth am I going to go back? How on earth am I going to navigate back so that I can change the language to English? I don't know how to speak Japanese, unfortunately. But yeah, I was in real trouble. And that time I felt like, oh my God, I just messed this whole thing up. And then I realized, okay, fine, calm down. I can still navigate back and I can change the language. How I did it? Using the help of icons. The icons didn't change. They are so accessible. Icons make your design accessible. Imagine if there were no icons and everything were written in Japanese. I would be in really big trouble. They helped me go back and get back to track. And then finally, I was able to use my television. Yay! And icons, this is what icons help us do, right? They help us with almost everything that comes into our life. They help us with our day-to-day activities. They help us with our design, and they make design more accessible, more simplified, they help us use better spacing, and they help us make the better use of the available space we have. The available space that we get for not using text, for only using icon, we can use that for other important things that our users might want in an icon. I'm sorry, I'm just talking about icons. Other important thing that our users might want in the app. Say if you're designing for a client, you can definitely use that extra space to show them more good. And it is so obvious. Now, you might have seen also like the billboards, you might have seen TV advertising, social media advertising. Now, especially in billboards, you might see this big punchy headlines with all those text. Well, that is easier to read. But after that, all you see is icons. Like most of the billboards, you might see icons, maybe icons that say 50% off, maybe icons that say limited period offer only. All these icons, maybe a timer icons that says like 5 hours left for the deal. All this really help us understand and make sense of the world around us in a better way. And that is really important, understanding the nature and the message that the design tries to convey. That is more important. And I believe that it is all, right? That's what icons do, right? Icons help us and they are fundamental. And I don't think that a good design can be made without icons. I may be wrong, I'm like a beginner in design, but still, I think that icons are really important. and we should use them. Okay, so I have, as I shared that I'm a beginner in UI design and design in general, and I'm kind of sharing my design journey here with all of you amazing guys here. So if you like the episode, please, share it with your friends, and please rate it 5 stars on Spotify. That would really help the show to grow. And I would really appreciate that. Plus, there is a bonus this time. So since I've been talking all about icons, and you might observe that I'm really a pro person towards icon, and like, okay, use icons, they are good, they are better. So I'll link some resources in the description that you can use in your design. Some resources from Figma that some other designers designed and uploaded it. I really like some designs there, and I will also link the Google resources, because a lot of icons you can get from that Google resource site. I forgot the website, but I will link that. I hope that you would find that helpful. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed. I'll see you next week. Bye.